Hey everyone, welcome to Fazlin Music Channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to master ambient drones and dreamscape tracks. I'll be working on my latest track, Reverie, using iZotope, Ozone and FabFilter Pro tools. We'll walk through each step together, so whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Alright. Before we dive into the mastering process, let's take a quick listen to the raw, unmastered version of Reverie. This track is all about creating a calming, dreamy atmosphere, so our goal today is to enhance that vibe while making sure it sounds polished on any playback system. Here's a quick preview. First up, let's tackle the EQ. I'm using iZotope Ozone's equalizer to shape the tonal balance of the track. Since this is an ambient piece, I want to keep things smooth and warm. I started by cutting out any unnecessary low end below 30 Hz. Those frequencies can add mud and we don't need them here. Next, I gave a slight boost around 80 to 120 Hz to add warmth, and a gentle cut around 200 to 500 Hz to clear out any muddiness. For the high end, I added a little lift around 10 to 12 kHz to bring in some air and sparkle. But not too much. We still want that chill vibe. Now let's move on to compression. I decided to go with FabFilter Pro C2 for this. Ambient tracks like this don't need heavy compression, so I set a gentle 2:1 ratio with a slow attack and a medium release. This lets the natural dynamics breathe while adding a bit of glue to the mix. I adjusted the threshold so the compressor is just kissing the peaks, reducing about 1 to 3 decibels of gain. The idea here is to smooth things out without crushing the life out of the track. Next up is stereo imaging. This is where we start to give the track some space and depth. I'm using Ozone's imager to gently widen the mid and high frequencies. This helps create that expansive, dreamlike sound that's perfect for ambient music. Be careful not to overdo it though. We want it to feel wide and immersive, but not so much that it starts to sound unnatural or causes phase issues. After stereo imaging, I jumped into FabFilter Pro Q3 for some dynamic EQ work. I used it to tame any harsh frequencies that might pop out, especially in the high mids. I also added a slight dynamic boost around 5 kHz to bring a bit more clarity and presence to the mix. This step is all about fine-tuning the balance, making sure everything sits just right without anything poking out too much or getting lost in the mix. To tie everything together, I added a touch of reverb using FabFilter Pro R. I went with a decay time of around 2 seconds, keeping the mix level pretty low, about 5 to 10%. This reverb isn't meant to stand out. It's just there to give the track a cohesive, unified feel, like all the elements are sitting in the same space. Finally, it's time to bring the track up to a competitive loudness level with FabFilter Pro L2. I chose the transparent style to keep things clean and natural. I set the output ceiling to negative 1.0 decibels to avoid any clipping and adjusted the threshold until I hit a loudness level of around negative 14 loudness units relative to full scale, which is perfect for streaming. you want to keep an eye on the gain reduction meter here. A few decibels of reduction is fine, but you don't want to go too far and squash the dynamics. With all the mastering steps done, I gave the track a final listen on a few different systems, headphones, studio monitors, even a car stereo, to make sure it translates well everywhere. After a few minor tweaks, I exported the master at 48 kHz, 16-bit, with dithering enabled. Here's a final preview of the mastered version of Reverie. Let's take a listen. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I hope you found this walkthrough helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more music production tips. Got any questions or suggestions for future videos? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, keep making music.